is up, Cowboys Nation? So glad to be here with everybody tonight in the chat. And I'm sure once you guys start rolling in, Veep, our lovely vice president, will help us put you guys' comments on the screen per usual. So excited to be here with you guys tonight. I apologize for my absence uh, last week. I'm in a new house. So I was moving last week, and so I could not do the show because I didn't have everything set up. But now that I am in my new place, I will, fingers crossed, be able to give you guys content every week as I've been trying to do, unless there's just some other reason that I can't. But, anyways, before we get into the show, please like, share, and subscribe to like and share this video. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Stargazers Sports, just like it is spelled down below where you can see my Cash App. I really encourage you guys as well to donate to my YouTube channel so that I can continue to put out fire content for you guys and give you guys my thoughts on everything Dallas Cowboys. Please follow me on all my social media accounts because that's really how you can see a lot of, especially Twitter, or sorry, X now is where I still call it Twitter, but it's called X now, where you guys can see my live thoughts during games, my live thoughts just about the team, press conferences, various takes from 3 and 4 letter networks, content creators, beat writers, and all that type of stuff. And so my social media for X is Stargazer. I'm sorry, the Stargazer. Instead of an E, it's a 3. And then it's 2 R's at the end. And then also on Instagram, it's Stargazer_sports. And on Facebook, it's Stargazer Sports Media. If you are watching live on my channel, if you just look into the description, I have all my social media handles there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into tonight's content. If you don't know, you should know we did lose against the Kaiserless Cardinals yesterday. And I know for some of you guys, the sky might have been falling. So let me pull up my slide here. Or V, do you have to pull it up for me? There we go. All right, y'all see I'm always be funny. If y'all ain't realize now that I have a sense of humor, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so today's show, Dallas Cowboys fall to the Cardinals. Have we fallen and can't get up? And if you're watching live, you see I got my little my little meme on the side here. Help, I'm falling, I can't get up. Y'all remember that commercial from Life Alert? And I'm saying that because it seems to be a meltdown. Well, not from all, but I've seen a lot of meltdowns on Twitter after the loss. I've seen we gonna get blown out by the by the Chargers, even though they 1-2. I've seen we might as well just hang it up. Eagles gonna for sure win the division. I've seen this team is nowhere near as good, even though we just like dominated 2 teams. One was a playoff team, one was a pretty tough defense. Who hadn't, I think they said the Jets defense hadn't given up that many points since before last year. Yeah, so even though we just dominated those 2 teams, all of a sudden we just are not good at all like we thought. And what's somebody said? Oh, Mike McCarthy sucks as a play caller. We were better with Kellen Moore. Kellen was way better in the red zone. What else did I see? Some more meltdowns. I think that pretty much sums them up. Various people saying we have this problem. We got a linebacker problem. We got a tight end problem. We got this problem. We got that problem. But I'm here to recap the game and to answer the question, have we fallen? And if we have fallen, can we get back up? Or we can't get back up? Because last time I checked, we did lose to the Cardinals in week 3, not week 17. If I'm not mistaken. So it is week 3, guys. I do just want to, just remind everybody, it is week 3 that we lost. Okay, so we are 2-1. We are 2-1, not 0-3. But anyway, let's go ahead and I'll get to the next slide. You guys, excuse me. What's up, Dagon's Filthy? Glad to see you in the night. See you in the chat tonight. Sorry, I was about to say tonight to chat. See you in the chat tonight. I appreciate you being here with me tonight. All right. So let's talk about it. What went wrong? What went wrong? All right. I'm gonna enlarge my screen. All right. So what went wrong on defense? Defense gives up 222 yards on the ground. And I say flashbacks to our Green Bay Packers and Jacksonville Jaguars losses last year? I think so. We let Joshua Little Bill Dobbs run for 55 yards on us, averaging 9.2 yards per carry. So clearly running quarterback, still an issue for Dan Quinn. Then we've got James Conner, rushing for 98 yards, averaging 7 yards per carry. Absolutely horrendous. Let's just start there. If you've been following the Cowboys for years, what has been our Achilles heel? Getting ran on. And so we put in the assets to stop the interior run, which we got Jonathan Hankins, we got Mozzie Smith, Oso Digizua has taken a step forward. But take a look here at these charts below. So if you're watching live with me, so these are charts from Next Gen Stats. And y'all can see here where it shows if the play was tackled for loss, if it was 0 to 5 yards gained, or if it was 5+ yards gained. Now, from left to right, we have James Conner's chart from yesterday. Then we have, I believe this is in the middle, Aaron Jones' chart from last year when we lost against Green Bay. And then we have Travis Etienne's chart. From our loss against them last year. Do y'all see anything similar to these charts? These charts look a lot similar to me. When we look at the green lines, which means 5+ yards gained, it looks like that these runs have been on the edges, because you can see in the interior 0 to 5 yards gained, right? Those are those yellow lines. But then you see these long green lines and they're all from the outside. So it would seem to me that our issue is not just run defense, but defending the outside zone run. Now, I thought we had solved this problem. Y'all remember when we went against the San Francisco 49ers in the biggest game of the year last year? We lost, but someone who didn't beat us was Christian McCaffrey. And if you don't know, the 49ers have a outside zone running scheme. And we shut that mess completely down. So I thought Dan Quinn has finally gotten this problem solved. And then here we go, facing another team who wants to primarily run outside zone. And we see that we got our butts kicked. 222 yards is just downright unacceptable. It's unacceptable on all fronts. If you want to say You want to know what the Star think the main reason why we lost yesterday? It is undoubtedly because we could not stop the run, period. And also there were big plays, but big plays came off of play action, broken assignments. It just, see, when a team can run on you, right, it opens up that play action, which results in big plays. And so that's why and that's exactly what happened in the Jags game, and that's exactly what happened in the Green Bay game last year. Outside zone run, play action. Oh, look at that. Big play. Jonathan Gannon, you are right. Keyshawn said Jonathan Gannon knows us. Absolutely, he does. Obviously, he went against us twice last year. So the thing is, you have to know, Dan Quinn, that teams, smart offensive coordinators are not going to allow you to tee off on them all game. I just don't know what Dan Quinn thought. Did he think that the Cardinals were really going to have Joshua, Little Bill Dobbs pass the ball all around like he's Patrick Mahomes or something? No. If you look at his passing stats, I think he only passed the ball like 21 times. They were not about to have him pass the ball all over the yard. And I thought we had completely switched our defensive philosophy. I did a whole show about how we're attacking our keys now. We're attacking our keys. A lot of linebackers come up and field, right? Like attacking the man in front of you to defeat this type of run fits against us. Now, the defensive tackles didn't do a bad job, as you can see on the chart on the left, which is from the game yesterday. They weren't getting off in the middle. They were getting off on those edges. Same for the Green Bay game last year. Same for the freaking Jaguars game last year. Okay? So that's my spiel, my little spiel on what went wrong on the defense. All right? Let's move on. What went wrong on offense? Red zone woes. Okay? So we only scored 1 out of 5 times yesterday when we were in the red zone. That is not going to get it done. That is not going to get it done. You cannot be scoring only 1 time out of 5 times in the red zone. Something is going wrong down there, and we need to figure out what it is. I will talk about it, later in this show, because I have broken it down to what I think the issue is and what I think we need to do to solve it. And this has been a problem since week 2. I know there were some people saying it's been a problem since week 1. No, see, I got y'all. Because we actually scored 3 out of the 4 times in week 1, so try again. It hasn't been a problem since week 1, all right? But it has been a problem since week 2. Because week 2 versus the Jets, we only scored 2 out of the 6 times. So this is obviously something that we are not going to be able to consistently win games if this is going to be an issue, okay? Obviously, if y'all watch the press conferences, Mike spoke about, immediately after the game when he did his press conference, he said 100% took accountability. It's his fault, right? You got to be better in the red zone. Then today, him and Brian Schottenheimer said, we got to be better in the end zone, the red zone. We should have been able to punch it in way more times than once. Punch it in way more times. We should have had way more touchdowns. Because guess what, guys? If we had say we scored a touchdown, maybe you didn't do it all 5 times, but at least 3 out of the 5 times, that's 21 points. Y'all remember what we lost by? What was the score yesterday? If anybody can remember, put it in the chat. I'm gonna look it up here. 16-28, right? So if we had just scored 2 more times, we would have had how many points? 16 plus 14 is what? Let's see. You really should be scoring every time in the red zone, even if it's just a field goal, to be quite honest. Let me see. If we had 14, we would have had 30 points. The Cardinals only had 28 points. We win that game. We just scored 2 more times in that red zone. So we definitely have to fix this issue. We've got to fix it. It's undeniably an issue for us. No other way to split it. It's an issue for us. I do. Let me see if I can go here to the next slide. Okay, what went wrong as a team, right? So I spoke about what went wrong as a defense, what went wrong as an offense, what went wrong as a team. First point I got up here, lack of passion and correction from our leaders. Sideline was flat as a pancake from start to finish. Let me tell you something. When I saw, y'all go back and watch the game and look at Mike. From the first play of the game, Micah just looked out of it. And I feel like we can really determine how this defense is going to play based on the mood of Micah. And Dan Quinn named in his press conference, go back and look, he said everybody played terrible except 3 people. Malik Hooker, DeMarcus Lawrence, and I forgot who the third person was. If y'all remember who the third person was, he said DeRon Bland. Michael was not on that list. I know it's hard for us guys to criticize Michael because he's the best player in the NFL. He's all of these things. But I saw a tweet today and they said, regardless of how great Micah is, he's not even now having a better season right now than Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. And you see, I was talking to my brother about this, and we want to crown Micah so bad. He's Lawrence Taylor. He's this and he's that. But in order to be the best, you got to be the best consistently. Now, am I saying Micah hasn't been the best consistently? No. Obviously, he's got 2 all-pro nods for, all the Micah Parsons fanatics who are going to, what? Yeah. We know he's got 2 all-pro nods. But we also see that there are times where Micah is just, his presence is just not as felt. Yes, I know he got a sack. But to be honest, guys, Micah getting a sack is bare minimum for him. Like, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Micah getting a sack a game is bare minimum for him. Okay? And yeah, I think he had like 2 QB hits. That's good. Great. But we hold Micah to a higher standard. Again, guys, if you saying y'all comparing him to Lawrence Taylor, y'all comparing him saying that he's the best player, he's better than Myles Garrett, he's better than TJ Watt, he's better than Nick Bosa, he's better than all these people. Y'all keep saying that. Okay, I'm not saying that I disagree with that. I think Micah is a phenomenal player. It's just no doubt about that. But has he reached? We need to stop putting crowns on these young players before they show longevity. And right now, Micah has way more to prove, even just from a leadership standpoint, because I didn't see no leadership from him yesterday. I saw complaining. I saw looking like a sad kid over there. Who I did see leadership from was from DeMarcus Lawrence. That's who I saw leadership from. I didn't see leadership from Micah. Also, I'm going to get on your head, CeeDee Lamb. Being a diva. Yeah, I said it. And I love CeeDee Lamb. I believe CeeDee Lamb is top 5 to 7 receiver in his league. But the divaness in him's got to stop. It's got to stop. The frustration. That offensive he did that same thing last year. Offensive pass interference. Pushing off. You cannot push off the guy, CD. I know you're mad, but you cannot push off the defender. You can't do that. You can lean into him, but he literally physically takes his hands and pushes the guy away, then turns around. You can't do that. Then you're mad, throwing your hands up. Then, when Dak's trying to give you the ball, because you missed CD for a touchdown, he starts complaining. I think Dak missed him for a touchdown last week and this week, the same type of corner route. CD gets upset. That gives him a chance. All right, CD, I'm giving you a chance in the red zone. CD doesn't even try to go for the ball. He's literally playing for the penalty. We cannot have that from our number one wide receiver. We just cannot have it. I did not like at all what we saw from our young leaders yesterday, but that's okay. We need games like this so that we can learn. They do a lot of talk, a lot of promotion. Micah doing his podcast he's doing every week. That's all fine and great. But we need you to show up, not just when you're blowing teams out, but when there is adversity. I didn't even see nobody talking on the sideline. It was like no one was trying to get people pumped up. Even our leaders that weren't suited up, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, to be honest, they just looking pissed off and talking to each other. I'm like, why don't y'all go talk to the players? Talk to the people that are playing. Maybe that will help them. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see no coaches yelling. I didn't see nothing. And that's why that's what went wrong as a team. We cannot show up with that type of behavior and attitude. You're not going to win any game like that. And I will say I'm glad that we took this loss now. That's why I'm not worried about it. If you saw my Twitter, I said I'm going to sleep like a baby, and I sure did. I slept like a baby. Wasn't worried about it. Because the team that showed up yesterday, I know that they're going to learn from this. They're going to grow from this. And I know that our coaches are going to have a real strong talking to them about what was displayed. But honestly, player play was an issue, but also coaching was an issue yesterday. Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy got outcoached yesterday. That's just the bottom line. That doesn't mean that they're bad coaches. That doesn't mean that the sky is falling. That doesn't mean that we've fallen and we can't get it back up and we need to get Kellen Moore back. Absolutely not. It just means what I said. The coaches got outcoached. The players got outplayed. Next, 13 penalties yesterday erased 107 yards of production. Again, 13 penalties erased 107 yards of production. 107 yards of production. Now, were there some bad calls? Yes, there were some bad calls. Okay? Specifically the one that has been shown all over X or Twitter, shown all over it. The Wanye offsides that literally gave the Cards a new set of downs. Now, granted, they still Matt Prater made the field goal before we gave him a new set of downs, and then we prevented them from scoring a touchdown. They still made 3, but time was taken off the clock because of that. There was no offsides from Wanye. You can go and look at the clip. Wanye was nowhere near his offsides. I'm just going to say that. He was not offsides, okay? But I'm trying to see, was there another penalty that I thought was BS? I can't remember. If y'all remember one that was BS, put it in the chat. But regardless, guys, all 13 penalties wasn't BS. Okay? Majority of the penalties was not BS. Okay? So, 1, on offense, too many false starts, too many holding calls. Terrence Steele, come to the front of the line, buddy. Now, you were our only the PI was not called. That's true, but I'm talking about penalties that was against us. Terrence Steele. We got to get a handle on these false starts. Now, you were our vet lineman out there who just gave you a hefty bag, and you got 2 false starts against us. We cannot have that from you. I expected it from Brock Hoffman or Chuma Ndoga or TJ Bass, but I do not expect it from you, buddy. You've got to cut it out. At first, I was thinking, well, maybe it's a away game thing. No, because y'all remember all them false starts he got when we was at home versus Tampa last year? Yeah. The false starts got to stop from you. Now, we had some holding calls. I think TJ Bass got one, and Chuma Ndoga got one, I think. Tyler Smith, I think, also had got one. We can't have that. We can't have that. Now, granted, Sometimes you gotta hold because it's a difference between I'm gonna have to hold to get that kill. Okay. But some of the holds was just bad leverage, bad feet. We cannot have that. We cannot have that. When you do those penalties, it kills drives. Then for defense, too many offsides penalties. I think Micah said on his podcast he thinks that the players or the cards talk to. I don't know. Something he thinks they talk to the ref about lining up offside. I don't know. But regardless, we can't have it. We can't have the offside penalty because that just keeps giving that offense life that it shouldn't have had. Now, I'm not gonna panic too much about these penalties. I'm gonna be honest because I do believe that this game was an outlier. We really had cut down on our penalties since last year. This ref team that we face as well, they give more penalties to away games and home games, and honestly, I don't know. The refs just, like Beat had said, the no call on Michael Gallup was just ridiculous. Like, come on, bro. That guy was bear hugging Michael Gallup before that ball reached. You cannot do that. A simple pass interference. If you're touching the player and preventing him from catching the ball before the ball makes contact, that is pass interference anyway. I know some people were like, well, he was looking back for the ball. That doesn't matter. He literally made contact. So you tell me I can look at the ball and push a player out the way? Like, no. And y'all know we have to deal with this issue every freaking year. But like I said, there were some bad calls, but there were also some calls that were valid. And we can't expect these ref teams to be nice to us. We're the Dallas Cowboys. They freaking hate us. Especially because we talk so much about the refs and how they be hoeing us. Like, so the refs don't care about us. They look at us with a very scrutinizing eye. We've got to clean that up. But like I said, I'm not worried too much about it because the penalties is also a big reason why we lost the game. The inability to defend the run and these 13 penalties really killed us. Right? Those things really, really killed us. But the lack of passion and correction from our leaders, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, we can't have that. We can't have that. You guys are, Micah, you're the best player on the team. CeeDee Lamb, you're one of the top players on the team. You're our wide receiver number one. We cannot have the diva attitude and mentality. I just can't. I cannot stand that. Micah and CeeDee, I'm sorry, but y'all look like just frustrated kids out there yesterday. And Micah, I know you got 2 kids of your own, but you look like a frustrated kid out there. We cannot have that. We cannot have that. Exactly. We cannot rely on the refs. The refs are always going to be against us. We like I said, we the Dallas Cowboys. They are always going to be against us. We always making comments about how they cheating us, and they keep cheating us. So just know that the refs have never been our friend, and they're never going to be. Okay, so we gotta stop that type of we gotta clean it up with the penalties, and we need our young players, our young leaders. We need y'all to do better. I love you, Micah. I don't know if y'all ever see this, but I love you, Micah. I love you, CeeDee. I think y'all are phenomenal, great young players. But y'all, let me say this. Micah, CeeDee, y'all say that y'all the best. Right? Y'all say that y'all the best. Y'all at the top. Y'all gonna show I'm this and I'm that. Y'all say that. So if y'all gonna say that, you gotta be that. Okay? That's all I'm saying. If you gonna say it, be it. Michael making jokes about how he was gonna dart up Joshua Dobbs, and guess what Joshua Dobbs did today on TikTok? Making fun of Michael because you didn't do nothing. You got a sack, 1 sack. Like, can't have that, guys. Can't have that. But anyway, we'll go ahead. We're going to take a break for our Blast Music Artist of the Week. And then we're going to come in the second half for our solution to the problem.
Yes, indeed. What's going on, Cowboy Nation? It's a sober Monday, but, it's all good. It's only week 3, so no tears right now, no fears. We're gonna make it through. So listen, we have the blast artist for the night. It's my man Hakeem Romance. Before we play that, this is sponsored by the Lee Law Firm. If you are in the Dallas Fort Worth area and you need some legal support, you can reach the Lee Law Firm. You can find them on Facebook as well as a video right after the video that we play. So again, this is Hakeem Romance with Senorita. Let's check it out.
This is for my model times with a Coke bottle. And to my full figures, I push up on your full throttle. Yeah, baby, stop playing on me. You can get all the work, I even put in OT. I'm on go mode, thought I'd let you know this a land of romance. You super classy, but when you vibing with me, we getting nasty. Yeah, never trashy. I'ma dive in it, look at it, slide in it, yeah. That's what I like. Only for the night sight, I'ma need you a few more times. Had to keep it real, you know the drill. Now bring that ass here. Shit. Girl, we got all night, quit playing. Let's do what we came to do. Ay, cause you know what I need from you. Oh baby, and girl, mamacita, señorita, let me freak ya. From the club to the crib, I'ma show you what it is I've done. One. My drip up on the mill, tell your mama chill. She out and ready and steady, might just get to it. I'ma have to tell her, give me 6 feet. She acting big, just the swag all up on me. Ay, Miss Jackson, what you want? Be aware, I'ma show you I'm full grown. I know you here for a good time, not a long time. But listen, can we make it both? You got what I need, I got what you want. Understand what the vibe is. You looking like you ready to go. You ain't got dressed up to the night. So dangerous, you out of line.
Look, ma'am, you knew exactly what you were doing when you put that on.
Girl, we got all night, quit playing. Let's do what we came to do. Ay, cause you know what I need from you. Oh baby, and girl, mamacita, señorita, let me break ya. From the club to the crib, I'ma show you what it is I've done. One. You got my undivided attention, so is any lady. I saw you from across the room and I was just wondering maybe if you'd like to take a tour of the crib. You can bring your friend too. Hey, listen, I'd like to show you things. I can have you pulling up in the Benz or a photo range, cause I can show you the world. Take my hand, let's explore. Yeah, I'm like we're playing. Let's do what we came to do. Hey, cause you know what I need from you. Oh baby, and girl, mamacita, señorita, let me break ya. From the club to the crib, I'ma show you what it is I've done. One.
The Lee Law Firm.
The Lee Law Firm.
It is a law firm for those in the Dallas-Fort Worth area seeking a holistic approach to solving their legal matters. Just some of the legal services the firm provides. It's divorces, custody suits, child support, and adoptive child services, criminal defense, DUI defense, wills, trust, power of attorneys, and many, many more. You can contact the Lee Law Firm.
The Lee Law Firm.
And make sure that you say the word blast when you speak to the Lee Law Firm representatives and receive 10% discount on your initial retainer to hire the firm. Yes, indeed, and that was Hakeem Romance with Senorita. And if you are an independent artist or spoken word poet, or even an up-and-coming comedian that's looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is definitely in need of the fans that love great music. So go ahead and go to blastmusic247.com, register as a fan for free, and have access to hundreds and hundreds of music. So Blast, we're changing the industry one artist at a time. All right, Star, back to you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Veep. You could go ahead and bring my Veep, can you bring my thank you. What's up, Aquetta? Got to see you in the chat tonight. Very glad to see you. Okay, so moving on to the next. Okay, so my question was at the beginning of the show: have we fallen and we can't get up? We have fallen, but we can for sure get back up. Okay, so how do we get back up defensively? I said an alignment adjustment. Okay. Also, a scheme adjustment. I didn't put this in here, and this doesn't mean, guys, when I say this stuff, I'm not telling Dan Quinn to stop his, even though I would want him for some of those stunts of like pulling defensive tab out of him and stuff. Like, I would like him to stop doing that. But I mean, is he gonna stop doing that? Probably. Okay, that's fine, whatever. But the alignment that he had us in, and y'all can check, verify this from John Owing, Aisha Morrison. These are, John Owing is an analyst from Pro Football Focus. Aisha Morrison is on Girls Talk Boys Talk. She's also just she's a Cowboys insider beat writer now. That it was the alignment issues. It was alignment issues and lack of discipline from our linebackers was the reason. Our linebackers and safeties was the reason why they kept being able to capture those edges, as I showed y'all the next gen charts in the beginning of the show. Okay, so DQ, it's a stubbornness with him at this point, because I can understand you go into the game with the game plan, but I don't see him tweaking the game plan while the game is going on. It's almost like DQ's like, well, this is what we had. We're just going to run with this, and then we'll figure it out next week. I don't like that. There needs to be some type of adjustment made in games when you see that a team is teeing off on you from the outside, quarterback running all over the freaking place. Like, we cannot have that. Joshua Dobbs ran 55 yards on us yesterday for an average of 9.2. James Conner ran 98 yards on us for an average of 7. We cannot have that type of stuff, Dan Quinn. And they continue to do it all game. And you just continue to line up the same way all game. We cannot have that. When we say alignment adjustment, that means you having your players, I say pass rush fronts, because that's what Dan Quinn has the team in. In these pass rush fronts where it's literally meant, the alignment is literally meant to get pressure. It's not meant to stop the run. You can tell by the spacing of the defensive tackles. You can tell by the spacing of the linebackers, the defensive ends. Like, it's pass rushing fronts meant to stop the pass, but not to stop the run, okay? The Cards did a lot of pulling their guards to second level to eliminate our linebackers. And on top of this, Dan Quinn really didn't play the personnel needed to stop the run, nor align them in a way that could be effective. Our top run defenders from week 1 and 2 was Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas. Those guys, I think, got a combined of 4 reps yesterday. It may have been a little bit more for Bell, but I know Wanye didn't step the field at all. And I say, why? Why, Dan Quinn? Because, see, you had no problem sprinkling in Jordan Lewis last week. It was Donovan Wilson's first game back. It was his first game back. We should have been playing Wanye more than Donovan Wilson. You didn't even, or at least just let them split the snaps. You didn't even let him on the field. Those two young men bring the intensity. But let me tell you something. When Bell was on the field, he was getting washed out. Maybe that's got something to do with converting a safety to a linebacker right before the season starts. He does not have the body yet of a linebacker. Bell is intense. He can come down and field. He can shoot out like a missile. But he doesn't have that body of a linebacker, and he doesn't have that block shed ability yet because he's small. he's small. He's in a safety body playing linebacker. Okay. I say, do we have a favorites issue? Because Dan Quinn, you just needed Dono to be on the field at any cost, despite how Wanye has shown up the past 2 weeks. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't care how good Donovan Wilson is. I know he's good. I know we paid him, but Wanye is also good. Wanye also brings intensity. You don't just sideline those players when they have been impacting the game the way that they have. Wanye just hasn't been just, being serviceable. He's been literally impacting the game, flipping the game. To Ben saying that, yeah. Dan Quinn, he said he's been saying that this is how Dan Quinn thinks. And I know we love Dan Quinn, but I mean, we got to call it out. I see something, I got to call it out. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's from Dan Quinn, Mike, Dak, whoever. I've got to call it out. I don't like that. I don't like the inability to judge by Dan Quinn. I don't like the favorites thing with Dan Quinn. And I asked this question last year. Does Dan Quinn have a favorites issue? And content creators are trying. No, he doesn't. I'm like, I think he does, guys. Like, I think he does. I think he favors safeties over linebackers for sure. It's clear in his scheme. To the point where we had to literally push one of our promising linebackers off a cliff because Dan Quinn just prefers safeties. We went linebacker anemic this season because Dan Quinn prefers safeties. Okay. Now we have certain safeties showing up and showing out. Wanye Thomas, and you gave him no snap because your homeboy, Donovan Wilson, was back. Like, that's just the bottom line. Your homeboy was back. You wanted your homeboy on the field, and you didn't even name him as one of the players playing well yesterday. Missed angles and everything. Okay? So anyway, I say to stop outside zone runs, you need speedy linebackers or safeties who can come up and field. Okay? Speedy linebackers and safeties that can come up and field. The guys who are there in your safety linebacker group is Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas, Damone Clark. Even though Damone Clark did not have a good game yesterday, Damone Clark for the past 2 weeks has been very good. For everybody trying to push him off the cliff now. Like, he's been very good. What else do I say? Sorry, guys, gotta get my train of thought. But anyway, I want to show. I said I thought we figured this out versus San Fran. Y'all go back and watch the playoff game. We stopped the outside zone, no problems versus San Fran. The linebackers were not playing with eye discipline. And Veep, if you can bring up that clip for us, this was posted by Michael Gelkin so that we can see. Okay, here we go. This is showing all the explosive runs. Look at that. Not keeping contain on that edge. He was able to just bounce it right on back. That's that long run we got from Dobbs. Now look at this. Hesitation. Linebackers, LVE, Damone Clark hesitating, letting those guards get a handle on them. That's a guard just completely wiped out Marquise Bell. Again, hesitation. And a lot of hero ball is what I see. Veep, if you can play that clip again. I see a lot of hero ball as well. A lot of guys, they're going to where the play thinks. They're going to where the play think it should go instead of playing your gaps. I mean, this was just. I mean, look at this type of stuff. Look at this. Just getting washed out. Cars were just washing us out of the way. Just like bowling balls. I mean, look at this nonsense. Y'all see how I say some of the alignments because in that play, you just showed he got LVE rushing the passer. Like, what are you doing? This stuff is just sad. Again, that was a clip posted from Michael Gelkin. Y'all can go to his. Please show Michael Gelkin love. I love Michael Gelkin. Michael Gelkin. He is a real one, and I hope one day we can get him on the field. I mean, not on this show. Then it says strong side LB is still a problem. Yeah, I think, and I don't know. I don't think that, honestly, the players weren't aligned right, but they also just weren't like that. Y'all saw in those clips, just no discipline at all. No discipline. LVE and Damone Clark continue to try to go where they think the ball should go instead of just hitting and filling their gaps. And see, that's what happens when you're trying to go where you think the play should go instead of just filling your gaps and playing your assignment. That's what happens. They trying to guess where the play is going, thus allowing the guard to come up, wash him out of the play. That's what kept happening. Y'all saw those clips. It kept happening over and over and over and over and over again. And if our players, we saw that if a guard gets to the second level on our linebackers and safeties, good night. They've got no chance at all. Some of it was the adjustment, but some of it also was the players just not coming up and feeling. They were not feeling yet. They were guessing. The defense, our run defenders just looked confused out there. I don't know why they were so confused, but they looked like they just didn't know what to do or where to go. Dan Quinn said in his press conference, they absolutely did not play up to standards, and they did not. I'm not gonna say burn the game tape away because I'm guessing that Bill Belichick, Coach Hood, he done got Will Greer now on his practice squad. He done got Ezekiel Elliott. These coaches is a copycat league. Just remember when we lost against the Broncos in 2021, and everybody just started doing the same game plan against us. Best to believe Bill Belichick about to come in here and do the exact same things. I hope our coaches aren't dumb enough to think like, they're probably just going to run up the middle of either. Best to believe Bill Belichick's trying to win. I really hope we make an adjustment, Dan Quinn, and don't just stay in pass rush defense the entire time. Also, linebackers, I hope we stop trying to play hero ball and play our gaps and assignments. That's why we were able to demolish San Fran's outside zone, because we were in the right defense, alignment-wise. We also were shooting our gaps. We were also all hustling to the ball and converging down on Christian McCaffrey. Go back and watch it. I watched that playoff game so many times. Go back and watch it and see how we were able to stop that 49ers dynamic outside zone play action offense. Go back and watch it. Dan Quinn knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. He has the personnel to do it. We was at full strength yesterday defensively. Besides, we did not have Trayvon Diggs. But other than that, we were at full strength. And that's what we pulled up with. Just unacceptable. Next, how do we get up with this offense? It's clear that Mike wants to run the ball in the red zone. But it's not working like it did when we had Zeke. I understand the conservative play calling in the red zone. Here's why, guys. Well, why don't we just to pass it more? Do y'all know why? Y'all know why offensive coordinators don't want to pass it too much in the red zone? Because it's something called the field gets smaller. The field shrinks. When the field shrinks and it gets smaller, that means it's less ground for the defenders to cover. They can clog passing lanes a lot easier. It's easier to throw interceptions. So that's why Mike goes conservative in the red zone. But the thing is, I saw somebody, we might have hated Kellen Moore, but he was great in the red zone. Okay, and why was he great in the red zone? Because of Ezekiel Elliott. No one wants to say that. Remember, y'all said, well, all of Ezekiel Elliott's 12 touchdowns, it just came at the goal line. Yeah, it sure did. It sure did come at the goal line. And y'all see how it's just not as easy as it once was, because we sure aren't doing that this year. Okay? So for all you Ezekiel Elliott haters, and I'm not saying bring back Zeke. That ship is sailed. Zeke's not coming back. He's a Patriot now. So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to lie and say that we're not missing Zeke in the red zone, you're a liar, because y'all were the main ones saying that Zeke was only used in the red zone. He got all those touches inside the 10 in the red zone. He said, we can't throw to Schultz no more. Fergie is learning, plus we need to see Shun. Fergie had a good game yesterday. I think he had a good game yesterday and week 2 versus the Jets. So I really don't think Fergie is the issue, to be honest. Schultz was never that. Schultz was okay in the red zone, but really off of play action. Because every time Dak tried to throw Schultz a high point ball in the red zone, he would drop it. Like, let's be honest, guys. We gotta go back and watch it. Every single time Dak tried to throw those big body balls in the red zone, like he was gonna go up and get it over the two cornerbacks, Schultz didn't come up with it. Okay, so that's just my take, in my opinion. All right. So anyway, we was missing Schultz week 1 because they was dropping balls like crazy. And there are moments when we knew that Schultz could get those first downs. Our young tight ends, they are still growing, like you said, Keystone. So sometimes they come up with it, sometimes they don't. But Fergie has been a lot reliable. He got 7 targets, and I think he caught 5 of 7. He was getting crazy yak. I'm very proud of him. I do agree with you, Keystone, as well. We do need to get Shoemaker more involved in this offense. We need to get him a lot more involved. We need to get Peyton Hendershot a lot more involved as well down there in the red zone. But here's my suggestions to fix these red zone woes. Y'all see here, I got my guy, Rico Dowdle. Now, Rico Dowdle only got a mere 4 carries yesterday, unacceptable. But with the 4 carries he had, I think he had like 45 yards or something like that. It's like averaging like 10 yards per carry. He clearly had the cards numbers yesterday, and we should have sprinkled him in way more. 4 carries, Mike, that's not going to cut it. He was explosive yesterday, and we literally gave all the carry to Tony. We got Tony carrying it 23 times. No. Second, use Hunter freaking Lipke. Why are we not using Hunter Lipke in the red zone? He is about the only line running back that we have on the roster that has the mass, has the shiftiness to get that short yardage. We used him in a short yardage situation yesterday, and he got the first down for us. We gave him, and that was the only carry he had. We need to use Hunter down in that red zone. Even if it's not through running, even through pass plays, leak outs. Like, I'm not understanding it. Mike, you want to run? Okay, but we've got to be a little bit more creative. And also, let's just try to use different personnel. Use the Deuce. Deuce is probably our most dynamic and electric runner on the roster. He didn't play at all yesterday. Mike completely eliminated him from the game plan. Why? Why did we eliminate him from the game plan? We had a good day on the ground. That was a good day for all of our running backs to eat. And I think Deuce and Rico would have got us more explosive runs than Tony. Okay? We have to be more creative in the red zone. Misdirection, jet sweeps, end rounds. Turpin wasn't used at all in the red zone. Why? We scored with him in the red zone a week or 2 ago. Like, why didn't we use Turpin in the red zone? We've got to get more creative. But running just inside zone with Tony Pollard, it's not going to get it done. He ain't never been that bad. For all you stat nerds that say, oh, he's better than Zeke, short yardage. Okay, well, guess what? He's not better than Zeke at? In the red zone. He's not better than Zeke. We need to find a different answer than Tony Pollard in the red zone. I'm sorry. And then also, Tony Pollard. So many games that we won last year without Dak is because we were able to get some explosive home hitting runs with Tony. We're not seeing that anymore with Tony. Could it be that he's getting too many carries? I don't know. I know he's hauling it. Everybody, well, he's doing it. He's doing it. Yeah, he is doing it. I'm glad Tony's doing it. No one said that his body was going to break in half if he had more than 15 carries, but we were trying to say his capacity to be himself. Because Tony don't look like himself to me. He look like himself to y'all? Y'all let me know. Tony probably look like himself to y'all? Because he don't to me. So many times I'm like, Tony, just get us one explosive run. That's why we got you. That's why we got you. Just give us one explosive run. Just one. Couldn't do it. He could not do it. So y'all want to say that the carries aren't affecting him? Then what is it? The injury? What's the dealio? And I know he went over 100 yards, but he was averaging 5 yards per carry, guys. He was basically a Zeke. We didn't get you to be Zeke, Tony. We like you because you're Tony, not Zeke. We need explosive runs. We need you to step up when we need a big play. We would like for you to get that big play for us. That's what you've been doing in the past. So what has changed? Is it the play calling? Is it too much on his body now that he can't explode like he used to? Is it the injury? Because y'all were telling us that the carries weren't going to matter, that the injury wasn't going to matter. Y'all were saying none of that's going to matter. But Tony Pollard don't look the same to me. He doesn't. We need to fix that because he is literally, remember y'all were saying we lost the San Fran game because Tony Pollard went down. But that explosive Tony that we're used to seeing, we're not seeing it from him. And again, it was his run in the Rams game, the Bengals game last year without Dak, that got us points. He was able to win and overcome. So, like, if we don't have that explosion from him anymore, then probably we should try the other running backs that we have. Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Limpke has the. Have y'all seen his tapes from North Dakota State? He has the range to be dynamic. Rico Dowdle. There's a reason why we kept him 2 years after he kept getting injured. Like, come on, guys. Like, we gotta use our personnel better, and we gotta get more creative in that red zone. Because clearly they want to run it more because we do want to protect Dak from having to force balls and make mistakes. Like, you should protect your quarterback from forcing the ball and having to make him playing hero ball. You should protect him. But in order to do that, you've got to get more creative and you've got to switch up your personnel. Just because Tony can do it doesn't mean he should. Thank you, football guys. That's exactly what I need. Just because Tony can tote the rock 25 to 30 times doesn't mean he should. Okay. Anyway, this is my last slide, I think. Player of the game. We're going to give it to my guy, Michael, the main man Gallup. He went he caught 6 of his 7 targets for 92 yards, 15.3 yards per target. Showed up tremendously. And remember, this is right after he was questioned in the media last week about his lack of targets and and he was like, listen, I don't care. Like, when my number's called, I'm going to show up, but as long as we win, we win. But boy, did he show up yesterday, and I think Mike McCarthy should have just started going to Michael Gallup more until they realized, okay, now he's clearly going to Michael Gallup. We had to double him, and then you could have had open looks with CD and Brandon Cooks. He did not exploit, draw up enough plays, I think, for MG. Because I think Michael Gallup should have been the focal point of this game. Once you saw how much he was getting off and how confident he was playing, you should have just kept going to him over and over and over again until they did something about it. And then also, DeMarcus Lawrence, which I'm glad Dan Quinn said that he was one of the players that really showed up. Otherwise, if I didn't, then I'll be like, oh, you don't. So anyway, I'm sorry, he didn't. I said I didn't. Anyway, DeMarcus Lawrence, he had 5 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. Not sure how many pressures he had, but DeMarcus Lawrence, he really showed me yesterday that without him, I mean, the man's just consistently the best run defensive. When he is healthy, the best run defending edge in the league. And he plays with intensity game in and game out. When DeMarcus Lawrence on the field, I don't never see him not playing with intensity. Even when there's games when we got blown out, when we were the worst defense in 2020, DeMarcus Lawrence always plays with that intensity. And that's what a true leader does. That's what a true leader does. You don't ever even hear games of DeMarcus Lawrence sucks. Now, you may hear, oh, he didn't get this many sacks, but you don't never hear DeMarcus Lawrence. In 2021, he was averaging a turnover a game before he got hurt. Last year, he should have had double-digit sacks, but y'all know he was playing with a broken foot all year. Like, the man is an animal. He's an animal. We continue to overlook him because we're just so fascinated with the young lion, which I get it. Micah is amazing. He's great. If he can play up to his potential game in and game out, he can definitely be an MVP, not defensive player of the year, but MVP running. But we've got to see that intensity from him game in and game out. Even when nothing's going right, even when nobody's doing their assignments, play intense week in and week out, Michael. You got to, man. We got to. We got to have you playing at your best. And you done all the training. We saw how much training you put in this offseason, Michael. The boxing, the more weight. I mean, you was training we saw it. So we know you put in the work. You just have to come out here and show it. Week in and week out. And I'm not saying he didn't do anything, guys. I know, don't come spamming me with the stats. Oh, he had a sack and he had 3 QB hits and he had 4 hurries. Okay, I understand that he did something, but we need him to be not just do something. He's got to be Micah Parsons status, and that's elite. That's the pinnacle. That's top of the top. That's what we expect from Micah. Top of the top every game, because that's the type of player that he is. Okay. But anyways, guys, that's my take on our fall against the Cardinals. We did fall. Did y'all know that song by Donnie McClurkin? Says, we fall down, but we get up. So that's what I'm saying. We fall down, but we get up. So that's what we got to do. We're going to get up again. We got the Patriots coming to town. Bill Belichick, he going to come with the same game plan. They done found something with Zeke. They done finally decided to give Zeke meaningful carries over there, and Zeke went off against the Jets, and they won. So just expect. We need to be prepared. That's all I'm saying. We need to be prepared. Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, we cannot get out coached 2 games in a row. Players, we can't play with that sad intensity that we played with versus the Cardinals. It was just sad. The sideline was just sad from top to bottom. I don't really know how else to explain it, but we gotta do better. This is a championship team. I've said it. I continue to say it. Mike McCarthy will lead us to the Super Bowl this year. I've said it. Did a 4-part series right here on the Blast 247 YouTube channel. I keep saying I need to upload the last 2 episodes on my channel, but episodes 1 and 2 are on my channel. I believe in Mike. I believe in this coaching staff. I don't know what the hell we was doing yesterday, but I believe that we're going to correct our mistakes. And guys, just remember, it's just week 3, guys. So just simmer down, please. Please. Week 3, we lost against the Cards. Yeah, it was a Kylerless Cards. We did lose. But we also did blow out the 2 teams before. So let's just calm down. Yeah, and I think that's it. I don't know anything else I would like to comment on before I let out. Also, I will say this, and I'll probably get into this later on my other shows in the week, but I do think I'm loving the West Coast offense because it's leading to efficiency, but we've got to be able to take more shots downfield. Like, what the hell do we get Brandon Cooks for if we're not stretching the field with him? We need to see more deep shots. And we can't say, oh, well, this defensive coordinator just doesn't allow. We've got to figure it out. We've got to figure scheme-wise or something. But I would like to see more deep shots for Brandon Cooks, for CeeDee Lamb. We need more of that. We need more explosive plays, not just, intermediate routes. I know that's the West Coast principles, but this is not just a West Coast offense. This is the Texas Coast, which is a combination of, I did a whole show about it, this too, combination of the West Coast principles and the Air Coryell principle. I think I talked extensively about this on episode 3 or 4 of the Mike McCarthy series. Go back and watch it if you didn't. But we need it's a combination of both. And right now we're seeing a lot of West Coast, and we're not really seeing that Air Coryell play action, explosive plays that allow Dak Prescott to do that beautiful deep ball that he is phenomenal at. Check the stats. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for us tonight. God bless you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight in the chat. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please help me by donating to my Cash App, Stargazers Sports. And please follow me on all my social media. If you click the description down and on my channel for this show, all of my social medias will be there. All right. Thank you so much, guys. And you guys have a good night.